Yes, we have more Gammon news.
Aaron Widdicombe, yes. Our Granny Waddlebottom. Our celeb Big Brother's most hated star. How bosses push you to brink with ruthless rules and do not give special treatment. Anne Widdicombe reveals the show even nearly got a whole new name during her series.
But despite many predicting that Anne, who was 70 at the time, would be among the first to be evicted, she finished as runner-up with nearly 40% of the vote. Her time on the show was jam-packed with controversy, clashing with eventual winner drag queen Courtney Act over her anti-LGBT voting history. Yes, I can imagine them till have got on her like a house on fire, won't they? She also locked horns with India Willoughby on the issue of gay marriage, which saw Anne get slammed by many viewers who branded her the series-hated villain. Now, in an exclusive interview with The Sun, Anne reveals what life was really like on set, with strict rules that pushed tensions to the max.
You've got nothing. You're not allowed books. You're not allowed to do puzzles. You're not allowed to have a pencil and paper. I vividly remember on one occasion, one of my housemates did a noughts and crosses in some condensation on the window and was told to wipe it off. You had to purely survive on interaction with each other. Now, that's fine if you're not doing it for a day, but when you're doing it for a month, that's when all the tension starts.
Yes, she talks about a time on Big Brother where
the sleep deprivation was enormous. They have a rule that they won't switch out the dormitory lights until absolutely everyone is there. Well, of course, the young people carried on to all hours of the night.
Though she said that, unlike her current contestants and fellow ex-Tory MP, Michael Fabulous Hair, I wonder whether we'll get to see our Michael Fabulous Hair tonight. Oh, we have, yes, we have. Oh, dodgy syrup. Yes, we've just mentioned you.
Granny snores as well as farts in her sleep. Mr. Blasé and those dodgy dentures of hers rattle worse than French shutters in a gale, and I have a far more fabulous plumage than Granny Waddlebottom or anyone else, don't I, Mr. Blasé?
You most certainly do, dodgy syrup. The ruthless rules. While she knew she was set to be filmed 24/7, the lengths the producers went to achieve this still proved shocking.
Several times I got out of bed and switched off the lights, and they just switched them on again. They used to tell us that we mustn't sleep during the day, and I used to yell and say, well, if you'd let us sleep at night, I wouldn't need to.
As a former Tory politician in the 70s and now Graham Price stalker, it was given that there'd be some differences in attitudes between herself and her other housemates. Fortunately, she was still able to find an ally in Amanda Barry, who was 82 when she went on the show.
The sheer number of cameras surprised me. They were absolutely everywhere. Even when you were sleeping at night, you had to have your microphone on the table beside you. So if you snore, the microphone will pick it up. But the degree of surveillance was lost on some of the other contestants, including Rachel Johnson, with whom Anne would go on to have a fiery clash over house chores.
Good God. Can you imagine the conversation between them two? Good God.
Rachel had a habit of saying, look, they won't share this bit, and then say something. And, well, of course, what did they do? They were largely very sensible people when I was doing it, but there were still a certain amount of snowflakery around, which, of course, Amanda and I, in our generation, had no time at all for it. We're the generation that had to get on with it. I didn't do snowflakiness and endless hugging and all that sort of stuff. Not my scene at all. I actually said at one point to Malika, have you noticed how much people talk about themselves? Somewhat irritated me, but that's part of Big Brother, like you're doing here in some article. Shut up, DB, and don't be so impertinent. It was the moment when the housemates received letters from their families a few weeks into their confinement that really riled Anne up. All the fuss, she said. They were in that house for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks max, but you would think that they had been separated from their families for 3 years. In my day, the kids in the dormitory at school used to see their parents once a year in the summer holidays. Well, you got summer holidays, Anne. Well, you rather privileged. We were lucky to get a broken yo-yo. Shut up, DB. Anne herself, however, knew that the producers had asked her niece to write a letter, and was terrified she'd be subjected to the same fuss about how much she was missed. I was dreading it, she said. Shane Lynch is in the house with you. Please, will you get me some tickets for Boyzone? Yes, sod you, Granny. I don't really care. Can you get me some Boyzone tickets? Clearly, niece has got her priorities right, hasn't she? Fans of the show are often under the impression that everyone is in the same boat and treated equally by producers. But this isn't actually the case, and some stars will, in fact, only yesterday it was revealed that Mickey Rourke demanded the house be modified to include a gym designed to his strict specifications before he went in. And Anne's red lines, however, weren't quite so workout-based. She said, I laid down several things. First of all, I wasn't going to share a bed. Only if it was my gorgeous Graham from Power to the People, of course. He makes my dentures dance, I mean, forget it. Absolutely not. Secondly, modesty. I said modesty. It's important to me, and I'm not going to be in a situation where there's any immodesty. I wouldn't have done it without those guarantees. I was the same on Strictly Come Dancing. I insisted on knee-length leggings and matched every single dress I wore. The show's big no-no, however, was contact with the outside world. But even here, the rules could be bent, and Anne herself needed to get a vaccination for an upcoming cruise, so under the watchful eye of a producer, briefly met with a doctor without exchanging a word. She was also committed to writing her newspaper column every week. Good God. And so would be taken aside to the closet and handed a laptop by the show's team. Lacked internet access and could only be used for typing. For all I knew, the Duke of Edinburgh could have died, she said. Yeah, isn't she a bundle of laughs, isn't she? Negotiating with producers ain't the only thing in common between Anne and Mickey, however. Like Anne, the actor has already sparked controversy earlier on in his case due to comments made towards fellow contestant Jojo Siwa. I have no idea who that is, till I watch Big Brother much. They were widely criticised as homophobic. I was the one with the traditional views and made it clear that I thought... And what I thought, I knew the audience might not be on my side, and the view, but they were on the side with the liberty to speak, and I think it was that, together with the fact they didn't know what I was going to say next, that kept me in for so long. I'd been a politician, so I was used to it, but the fact is that whatever you say in the House, you've got to remember it's going to be broadcasted to millions. It's like, fucking hell, Granny, you're still going. It's like talking with your friends in the pub, or even just going on social media. It's like it's going to millions, therefore you need to be ready to answer what you say. And her advice to the housemates in general, don't bother trying to hide the real you, because it'll show itself one way or the other. Yeah, you're not wrong.
For one day, you just have to be yourself. They're going to find out anyway. You cannot sustain an act day and night, waking and sleeping, doing tasks and socializing. You're not going to be able to sustain it to a whole month, a persona that isn't yours. If you're a grumpy old woman, you just be a grumpy old woman from day one, because you're going to become that eventually anyway. She also added that it was only thanks to the show's theme that year, celebrating 100 years of women's suffrage. I nearly said women's suffering then. Fucking idiot. Of women's suffrage, that she ended up agreeing to go on, revealing that there were even talks of renaming it to Big Sister. And we have the legend in the chat as well. We have our Granny Waddlebottom. If I were you, Graham, run. There will be no sleeping if I had my hanky handsome scouse lad Graham for the night. I'm not going to ask what you'd have in mind. I've always said the reason why I did Big Brother and Strictly was terribly simple. I'd never seen any of them before, and if I had, I probably would never have done them. And that was Gammon time. I thank you. Fucking hell, Granny. That was quite the article. You won't get me for a minute, let alone a night. Graham, come into my lady garden. Good God. Oh dear. Are you insinuating that you would love to have a little bit of a role in the rose bush? Is that what you're saying, Granny Waddlebottom? Graham from Power to the People channel makes my dentures dance and gets me moist. Oh, God. Too much information, Granny Waddlebottom. Too much information.